Well, let's have a look at this one anyway in terms of architectural services checklist, see if it's any use. I haven't gone through some of the stuff, but looks like someone can tick off what they want. And then there's a checklist, a cheat sheet. Is there anything there that's of interest to you?
Yeah, I like the fact that it's split into two things. The first part is easy to understand graphically, and then if they're not sure, they can go and see what it is on the second sheet. One problem I had with our 3 list was it's getting very wordy. There's a lot of stuff in there. People are not going to read it all. I like the first page. It's either a yes or a no.
This one here is obviously Architect A, Architect B, Architect C, I would suggest. So they're using the, compare us all. So with Architect A, let's say that's you will have things in here which you tick the box on all. And then really it's a chance to let people know that Architect B and C aren't offering all this stuff. Do you do virtual reality? No, I don't. Do you do fly around movies? No, I don't. Do you do 3D model? Well, no. Do you do BIMX? No. So obviously you stick down all the things in here, and then there's an explanation. I'll show you another one, and this was, I don't know if this is useful, but this was one from a lady, and I'm not even sure, Erica. And she had a few different phases. Here's the different phases. So she gives them a bit of a roadmap, concept meeting, bit of an explanation on each of that, done a nice job there. And then what's included, she's done, and she's got art. It may be Rand, but she's done, basically a basic, a standard, and a bespoke. And it's kind of, we're used to seeing it this type of format with software and a lot of other things. We're not used to seeing it with architecture, but it does simplify it for me. For me, this is simpler. So what might be in a shock and awe box? There might be some monkey's fists. So you guys have seen. Here's a good one. There might be some monkey's fists. So 20 great before and after using Design Build Company. And Francesca was a mastermind member, and she's got a good before and after. So house before, house after. So this is a good document to go into a shock and awe box, demonstrating the impact you can have. Interior before, interior after. I love before and afters. Kitchen after the transformation. This looks like it's after. There's no before. I mean, there's a reason they do the big reveal on those TV programs. It's because it's that contrast between before and after, which is the money shot. So that's a good document that can go in a shock and awe box. Here's some a flow chart from Melissa Fleming. Actually, I think I did this for her, but this one shows what's the process. So here's a key, and then here's the process, and then here's getting a building permit, and here's the process, and here's another document which educates them about making changes. So that's something which can go in a shock and awe box. I would have mind maps are always good to go into a shock and awe box, that type of thing, teaching them stuff. Rules of engagement. So actually this is a good one. So this is kind of an architecturally sketched, here's Reddy Reckner. Determine how we may help you with your project. So, and he's laid it out. I think it's quite clever, like an architect sketch. So that's kind of a good thing. I would have testimonials in there. I would have, why people hire. Here's a cost guide. Jeff Craig has done a cost guide. How much will my project cost? And he's done a pretty good job of. Obviously it varies a lot depending on this and that and unforeseen conditions. And then he's got a square foot estimator, standard, premium, deluxe, depending on the size and what sort of finish you want. The roadmaps are great, right? So this is something I was pumping big time with our mastermind guys. I'll show you some simple ones first. But you know, if you can create something like this for your clients and say this is our process, these are the steps we go through, then what it says is you are organized, you have a system, you've got your own method, you know where you're going, you know what you're doing. You can point anywhere on that map and tell me where you're at. That gives me a lot of confidence, right? Because most clients go into the situation they really only see 2 inches from their face, but this gives us big picture. So we love this type of thing. Here's one from Julia. There's a lot more on it, but once again, these are the steps. So it depends on what sort of style you like. Oh, this is a nice simple one. So, you know, it's like a snakes and ladders board. I mean, that's who's done that one? My design build, don't know who's done that, but you know, research, analysis, resolution. Now, to you guys, you go, well, that's too simplistic. Well, it may be for you, but that's what we need. We need, you know, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the level I want to know. It's enough for me. This one's a bit bigger. He goes into a bit, you know, if you're an architect who likes to go into a bit more detail, then he snakes you down through the dome and delivery method. Bit of a legend, pre-design. We go through these steps. He's sort of numbered them all: PD3, PD4, PD5. Takes them down here, and then you go around the bend into design. DE1, DE2, DE3, very systematic, right? And this is Tim Alatorre. Tim is one, he says he's won projects because of this document, that people look at it and go, wow, you are the only one that we can see who really knows what they're doing. You have an organized system. You know, you've printed it on paper, so you must know what you're doing. Project complete. So, these things are great. So one of the things I like to see is, you know, if you want to say I'm an expert in something, then have your own proprietary method, right? Have your own step-by-step method that you here's how we work. Boom, here's how we work. Here's how we work. Make it simple for people to understand what is a confusing and complex process. I'll show you one which is a bit different. In terms of roadmap, but this is starts at the bottom. This is Michael Roosevelt, who is a distant relative to the Roosevelt presidents. He's in the mastermind as well, and starts in the roots of the tree, and then the design, the documentation is where it starts to come out of the ground. Then we see the coordination, then construction. So it's kind of the leaves, but really the whole thing starts with the roots starts with the roots. So that's a cool one. How's that, Matthew? We've sort of jumped away from the 3 tiers, but any of that interesting or useful?
Yeah.
Anything we can do to simplify is going to be good, and whether it's the 3-tier pricing or whether it's explaining the roadmap that someone's going to go through, is going to be good for a client. You know, it's not enough. I mean, I know you guys you're great at what you're doing. You did 7 years of study to become an architect, and you've been doing it for 20 years. There's no doubt you know what you're doing. I mean, you guys are doctors, basically. The problem is no one's explaining to the client what you do, particularly. No one's explaining the process that they should be expecting. No one, the clients don't really know the roadmap. It can't be verbal, it needs to be visual, and it needs to be simple. They need to know what to expect along the way. They probably need to know when they're going to need to make payments. They're going to need to know what they're allowed to do, not allowed to do. if you can explain all the stuff out like a good teacher, then it gives confidence, because it is like walking into a black hole, unless you have these tools to help them out. So that's what we do. And you know, and the good thing is, you might say, oh, it's a lot of work. Well, you know, you just do you create one chart or something, one thing at a time. But once you've got it forever. You can use it every single time. And the guys and ladies who do have it, they do win projects. You know, they report back. They win projects because they are able to educate their clients better, and it gives them a sense of confidence. So Francis said, I like the graphics of the roadmaps. Yeah, I think the roadmaps can be really useful. Really useful. It's a chance to grab control and say, here's the process we use. Here's what to expect. Yeah, and we have a process. Damien Farrell, you only really succeed with all the parts in place. No, I disagree with that, Damien. Damien, we need a one-on-one, mister. Do you know how to book a session with me? You should just use the same thing, but we need to get that going again. No, I don't think you need all the parts in place. You just build them up and use them as you can. Each piece is kind of useful. It's a useful addition on its own. But it's not like a building where you need to have rules of the road. You can have a works, shop and all. You can have a road. You can have a you can just have a questionnaire. That can help. A useful addition.